This is America, the greatest atrocity against mankind. American chattel slavery. If you traced your lineage, what would you find? Do you know where your roots lead to?
Grace and peace, Black family. This is Vicky Dillard, your sister with the curly braids. And I want you to get ready for the new Master Elements project, The Spear and the Shield.
This vaccine isn't experimental. It's like a dandelion. You overlook it for their weird science.
DJ RP Beats and Sincere Love the God have taken this time during the pandemic to carefully craft the soundtrack to Black empowerment with hot tracks like God Mine, featuring Sadat X of the legendary group Brand Nubian.
We never die. I made an ancestral shrine. Let's see what's in the God's mind. Listen, I'm a law in the person of sincere of the God. That mean your arms too short like Carl Anthony Shaw.
God painted me black.
God painted me black. Thanks for that. I'm a original man.
A letter to Dr. Francis Cress Welsing.
I say to the ancestors. Dear Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, I just wanted to thank you for all the lessons you left us. So yes, I'm more than grateful.
And the controversial song Buck Breaking God today.
Why every black show they gotta have a transgender? Either I'm crazy or there's gotta be a planned agenda.
Get ready, Black family. This is a much needed project. This is The Spear and the Shield.
And we are here. We are live. What's going on, family? What's going on? Peace and blessings. Welcome to another episode of SincereluvdagodCast. I am the God Sincere Love, and I am here with my lovely co-host, Nicety Girl. Happy Sunday, everybody.
Happy Sunday. Yay, yay.
Yay, yay.
Can y'all hear me good?
We can hear you. We can hear you. It's a little bit of lag on your side, but we can hear you. We can see you.
Yeah.
Everything is everything. Oh, man. What's going on? Peace, y'all. Peace, y'all. Peace, Nikki the God. Peace, some chick named Star. Hey, make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure that y'all share this out on your social media platforms and let everybody know that we are live with another episode of Sincere Love the Godcast right now. Do that right now. Hit that like button. Share this out right now. Appreciate y'all. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Right
If
now,
you're watching
man.
us on Facebook
Right now.
or Twitter, head on over to the YouTube channel. Type in Sincere Love the God. Click that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you can be reminded whenever we go live with new content. We do this every Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Time. And make sure you stay tuned for our weekly broadcast series, The Black Business Showcase, on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time. And also, y'all got to stay tuned for the upcoming new weekly or bi-weekly broadcast series, the Pick Me Godcast, which is coming very soon with our sister Nicety Girl and the lovely co-host Brown Skin Baddie. Y'all gotta definitely stay tuned for that one right there.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. Different than this, but super, super fun. I'm super duper excited. What's up, Information Junkie? Welcome to the Godcast. What's up, everybody?
Peace,
Mama
peace.
Love, hey.
Peace, Mama Love. What's up? Peace. And so, some people had questions about the title of the new Godcast, the new offshoot of the Godcast that we're going to be doing. So, you came up with the dope title, which I love, by the way. Mm-hmm. So, could you explain to people why is it the Pick Me Godcast? What's up with the title?
Because I've seen and experience, but definitely seen out here in these social media mean streets. Anytime a black woman takes the defense of a black man, you just a pick me. you just a pick me. You know what I'm saying? So it's always been something I've been called, but I've also seen other Black women called that. One of the sisters who's notoriously called that I see all the time is Erica Lachey. You know what I'm saying? We know she goes hard for Black men, and call out, Black men that need to be called out at the same time. But anytime Black women go hard for Black men, we get called pick-me's. I don't understand why that is. So for me, I was like, well, we about to go hard for Black men. We about to go hard for Black love and Black family. So pick me Godcast is what it is.
Dope. And I loved it. As soon as you came up with that one, I was like, oh yeah, that's a go right there. And so the Urban Dictionary definition of a pick-me girl is a girl who seeks male validation by indirectly or directly insinuating that she is not like other girls. Basically a female version of a simp. Characteristics of a pick-me girl: lets men walk all over her because of her carefree demeanor, only hangs out with men because they're unproblematic, quote unquote, exerts qualities, characteristics of a male counterparts that were not initially present to be more likable and relatable to them, etc.
Yeah, get out of here.
So that's the bullshit. That's the bullshit that these feminists came up with. It's supposed to be a derogatory term for Black women who still got love for Black men, who value Black men, and who stick up for Black men. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I felt like that energy. I felt like that energy that comes from that divester crowd needed to be countered. We needed to bring some balance to these internet streets, to these digital streets. And so that's when I came up with the concept for Nicely to do an offshoot to the Godcast and to find another sister who could spit, you know what I mean, who was on that same type of time, who could bring that divine feminine energy. And so we linked up with the brown skin baddie, started putting things together, and here we are. The broadcast is coming soon. And so this Wednesday, for our Black Business Showcase, we're gonna bring on brown skin baddie and let y'all get to know her a little bit. You know what I mean? Before we actually kick things off. And then on December 8th, right? December 8th or December 4th?
December 8th, we're going to do a soft launch, but we're going to do our soft launch on Instagram Live. I believe Sincere is going to try to broadcast it the same way on Twitter and YouTube as well, but we're definitely going to do our soft launch on Instagram Live on December the 8th.
December the 8th, they're going to be live on Instagram, and like she said, I'm going to try to stream it over here as well, just so we could get the soft launch popping to get everybody warmed up and excited about what's to come. So definitely look forward to that. The Pick Me Godcast is on the way. Shout out to Michael Wharton.
He sure is right with that. They do not call Black women who have white zaddies that term. Facts, and more facts.
Yes, indeed. Shout out to Michael Wharton. Shout out to the New Black Media Archives. Make sure y'all subscribe to the New Black Media Archives on YouTube. A lot of the replays from different Black media platforms are archived over there because, a lot of times our channels get messed with. So what they do a great job of archiving a lot of our broadcasts. So some episodes of Sincere Love the Godcast will be uploaded over there. You could catch replays of Tariq Show, Jason Black Show, Professor Black Truth, Vicky Dillard, and others from the New Black Media who do the damn thing. So shout out to Michael Wharton and Nikki the God holding things down on that side. And so I know you guys probably noticed, most of our regulars and our day ones noticed that we didn't start the show off today with our regular intro with a short clip from usually one of the master teachers or something important or relevant to the discussion, what it's going to be. And so we're going to switch that up a little bit going forward, man. What happened is, we just recently reached 1,000 subscribers. By the way, we're a little over 1,000 subscribers now. So shout out to all the new subscribers. Shout out to all the day ones and all of that. We appreciate all y'all. And so now we've been invited to have our YouTube channel monetized. You know what I'm saying? Which means, they could run ads on our on our videos and stuff like that, and uh we can make some revenue from the YouTube ads and stuff like that. And so, it's not all about the money, but we definitely trying to get some income coming in from what we do. You know what I'm saying? It's not free for us to put these things on and come to y'all every week. You know what I'm saying? It costs money, it costs time and our energy to be able to do what we do. So it's nice to be able to have some extra streams of income to be able to put this thing together. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's the equipment that we need, the books that we read to, make sure that we're doing our research and have the proper information for you all. You know what I'm saying? The lighting, everything like that. The monthly fees for the stream yard, things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? It costs money at the end of the day. And so we're gonna try not to use some of the copyrighted materials like we normally open up with some of these videos, and a lot of times the videos get a copyright strike next to it, and with those we can't monetize the video. So we're gonna pull back on that a little bit, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to create some type of intro for y'all, because we still need, give people a little bit of time to climb into the chat, and so we can share out the links and let everybody know that we live and stuff like that. So I haven't come up with anything yet, but I was just thinking I need to create something that we could play at the beginning of each show just to give people time to climb up into the chat. So that's what's going on with that. Appreciate everybody saying congratulations for the 1K.
Speaking of books, can we talk about it?
Of course. We damn sure can.
Can we talk about
it?
We
doing it. Sure.
We doing it, y'all. Like you said, a lot of stuff isn't free, right? And it's great to be, finally start to get monetized so we can use those resources for the projects that we are doing behind the scenes. And we will be coming out with a 7-series children's book based off of Son 7, the God. So I'm super duper excited for that. The first book has already been written, edited. I think we're right now we're actually in the illustration side of everything. So yeah, we are all super duper excited, and hope that you guys are also super excited for what's to come from both myself, Sincere, and also our sister Crown 808. She's actually the mastermind behind this part. I appreciate her. I appreciate Sincere so much for everything, because they're, just bringing something in me that I didn't know that I had, and it's making me, get on my shit. So I appreciate them, and I'm excited. I'm super duper excited, y'all.
Yeah, man. All of us collectively, iron sharpen iron, steel sharpen steel. And so shout out to Crown 808. You know what I mean? She conceptualized the concept for the book series, the children's book series, just based off of, this. All of this stuff happened organically. Like even people who moderate for us and stuff like that, Crown 808, she just came with the right energy. Like I never asked her to help out with anything. You know what I'm saying? She just saw what we were doing. She appreciated what we were doing. And she just started offering her services and her expertise by helping us get guests on the show, moderating the room, giving us ideas for topics, things of that nature. She just started volunteering. And so she just naturally became part of the team. And then through her tuning in and being a part of everything that's going on, she was just inspired by those of y'all. Sometimes y'all see my son, he'll come get on the screen and, you know what I'm saying, drop some jewels. You know what I mean? The young guy come drop some jewels on y'all. And so she's just inspired by that. And so she just started writing a book, a children's book based around my son 7. And so when she brought the idea to us, everything just made sense. And so we just got right to work. That was around the time when we interviewed Brother Ben X. But everything was perfect timing, because right after she brought the idea to us, we had Brother Ben X on, and we asked him for his advice on what should we be doing to make this thing pop. And he gave us some sound advice, and we just implemented it right away. And like she said, the book is done. Right now we just hired an illustrator, and we in the last stages of putting this thing together, and it's going to be self-published. You know what I mean? Shout out to our brother Fobs, the chairman, who is helping us out on the consulting side of things and helping us put everything together, plugging us in with the right people to get this thing done. You know what I'm saying? We hired him as well. You know what I'm saying? So he's a part of this project also. And And yeah, we doing the damn thing. And so y'all look forward to us releasing the pre-orders real soon. You guys will be able to place your pre-orders very soon for the book. Right, it's holiday season, so it's the perfect time. We're going to be celebrating the Arutasusse, the foundational Black American holiday. First year we're celebrating Arutasusse. You know, celebrating foundational Black American history and our ancestors who would get together around the holiday seasons and plot revolts and runaways and stuff like that from the plantation. Around this time of the year, the plantations were a little more laxed, and they would allow some of our enslaved ancestors to travel to different plantations to go visit family members and stuff like that. And so it was the perfect time for them to plan escapes and things of that nature. You know, that's around the time when Harriet Tubman would be making her missions back down there and rescuing people and all of that. And so shout out to Tariq Nasheed, who came up with the concept for this new holiday. And that's what it is, man. We celebrating the ancestors. And so one of the traditions that we're implementing with the new holiday is gifting your loved ones and your friends with a book. And so you guys can pre-order the Seven to Super Heru series book, volume 1, just in a couple of weeks. But as soon as we release the pre-order page for y'all, we'll have the link for y'all, and y'all could get y'all pre-orders popping right now, so y'all can give it to your nieces, your nephews, your sons, your daughters. You know what I'm saying? Perfect gift for the holidays. So y'all look out for that.
It is. Nice little stocking stuffer.
Yep. Oh, and thank you for that, Star. Star put the link in there for the Arutasusse run that our sister Dr. Nikki is putting together. You guys can use that link to sign up for the Arutasusse run, get all your information about the Arutasusse run that she's organizing on that link right there that Star just posted. Right? And so what else? As far as announcements, of course, the music, me and DJ RP Beats, we got the music popping. We're performing on December the 2nd at the Atrium in Stone Mountain, Georgia. So if you're in the Atlanta area, I'm gonna drop the link right now so you guys can get your tickets. Hold on one second. You guys can get your tickets to come see us perform December the 2nd at the Atrium, Stone Mountain, Georgia. There goes the link right there. We opening up for Killer Priest, from Sons of Man, Wu-Tang affiliate. Killer Priest and Dr. Inky put the event together, and they're doing the Metu, what they call it? What's the name of it? Let me get it right. What's the name of the tour? The tour is called the Melanetta Tour. There it is, the Melanetta Tour. And let me share the screen real quick so y'all can see that. The Melanetta Tour.
Isn't that like 2 weeks away?
2 weeks away.
Yeah.
2 weeks away. Not this coming Friday, but the following Friday. And I'm gonna keep y'all posted because we might have another show that Saturday also. I'll keep y'all posted on that one. But yeah, the Melanetta Tour with Dr. Inky and Killer Priest. Master Elements will be in the building doing the damn thing. And so this is the Eventbrite. Y'all can get y'all tickets right now. Come on out. We're gonna have a good time. It's gonna be lit. And the pre-orders for the new album, that's coming soon as well. So we're working on a lot of different things. We're working on a lot of different
Sincere hands in a lot of pots right now. Sincere got his hand and hat in a lot of pots right now. I ain't mad at it.
Right. I like it this way. All right, so I think that's it for the announcements of today. And so today's episode is about a few things. Talking about a few things. But the first thing that we could get into is continuation from our previous 2 or 3 or 4 Sunday broadcast. Yeah, our brother Kyrie. He issued another apology today. I think he's going to play tonight. I think he's scheduled to play tonight for the first time after being suspended for like 5 or 6 games, as you all know, for being accused of supporting anti-Semitism. And we've been keeping y'all posted on everything that's been going on with that. But the latest has been that he came out today. He did an interview and he issued a formal, more straightforward, I guess they would say, apology about everything that's been going on. And 8 games, he missed 8 games.
I thought it was
Mama Love
5.
said it was 8 games. I thought it was only 5 or 6. Yeah, Mama Love said it was 8 games.
Yeah.
But yeah, either way, you know what I'm saying? The brother wants to play. And so he had to do what he had to do. That's my opinion. People have mixed feelings about, you know, him apologizing or whatever the case may be. But me personally, I'm not mad at the brother. You know what I'm saying? Especially when I listen to the full thing, because people are posting short clips, but the interview is about 20 something minutes long, and I watched the whole thing. And I didn't really feel like, you know, he said anything that was off code or that he took back some things that he shouldn't have been taken back. You know what I mean? I felt like you know, he was doing what he got to do, man, to be able to maintain his career. We can't pretend that you know, these people don't have the power to destroy you. You know what I'm saying? They do. They do. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, the Kyrie situation and him having to go through all of this just to maintain his career, it's not too much of a reflection on his character, in my opinion. It's just a reflection of where we are as a people. You know what I'm saying? That he has to do that because we're not in a situation to be able to provide the type of support that he would need where he could go hard body like some of us would want him to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
We don't have the power that the group that put him in this situation in the first place, you know, by, you know, dropping the hammer down on him. We don't have the power that group has, although we have the numbers. We just don't have the power. We don't have the resources, and we don't have the code if we want to keep it a buck.
That's
Collectively. Not enough of us have the code.
That is 100 right there. And I'm surprised that you agree with me on this.
You know what? I listen to him. I've been just silently sitting back and watching and listening to other people's perspectives. But I also, I think when I'm giving my points, it's definitely emotion built, you know, and centered. You know what I'm saying? But again, we have to put ourselves in his situation. There is multi-million dollars at stake. This is this person's dream. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of us have dreams that we have not been able to fulfill. And for him to be as young as he is and fulfill the dream that he has, and as on code as he has been, you know, with his people, with help in different ways, I had to take a seat back and look at the bigger picture. You know what I'm saying? And not just think on emotion, but logically, right? We have to get back to logic when we're thinking about a lot of stuff. And it's just so much at stake, and his dream is at stake, and we have to respect that.
That's a fact. That's a fact. To me, like I said, it's not really a slight on the man's character, man. We watched Kyrie endure so much, you know what I'm saying? Even during the whole pandemic situation when they were trying to get him to, you know, go with this whole program that they was pushing, you know, trying to make everybody take these shots and everything like that. And he was like the only one, especially the only superstar. I don't know if there was, was there anybody else in the league that refused and the whole time? Because there was some people that refused initially, but I think everybody else eventually acquiesced.
Y'all came and did a name didn't want to do it, but he folded.
Say it again, because you breaking up. You trying to be smart and you breaking up. Say it again.
I said, y'all's king, LeBron, he didn't want to get the, you know, the juice, you know what I'm saying? But he eventually folded.
Right. And so, you know, we watched him go through all of that by himself, stood 10 toes down, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, and not just that, because in the sports media, they've been ridiculing him and criticizing him left and right pretty much his whole career. You know what I'm saying? The Stephen A's and all of those guys, they've always had a lot of smoke for Kyrie. You know what I'm saying? And then that situation just kind of exacerbated everything. And then bring it back to this situation, the most recent situation with him posting the link to the movie and all of that. You know, I got to take my hat off to Kyrie, man. Kyrie, a real one. Kyrie a real one.
Absolutely. He's definitely a real one. Again, I don't feel he's been buck broken. You know what I'm saying? I think he's just doing what he got to do to continue to live out his dream. Again, I believe that there's a lot of legal stuff going on that we may not be abreast to because these people also owe him some money, right, for making him sit out for as long as they did during that pandemic, right? Let's be clear. A judge say that those people that were forced to, quit their jobs or laid off their jobs for denying that shot must be paid back pay, right? So there's so much more at stake that we may not be, privy to that type of information. So we got to give that man grace, and not only just for, his stance on the shot itself, for what he's done thus far, including, right, the GoFundMe for our sister Shanquilla Robinson. I haven't seen the Shaqs, the LeBrons, and anyone else step up and put their money where their mouth is. A lot of them, our brother Kyrie also helped George Floyd's family. You know what I'm saying? But purchased a home for that family. So he's not only, standing strong in what he believes in, but he's also giving back to his community the things that he did for the WNBA. And I haven't seen none of them horse face heifers stand up behind him and supporting him either.
Good point.
Let's be clear. Y'all at WNBA? Where y'all at?
Well, for real. He paid everybody's salary. For those that don't know, the season that they decided to sit out, they don't get paid nearly as much as the NBA players. Like the WNBA players, some of y'all make just as much money as them. Some of us make just as much money as they do. It's a regular job. You know what I'm saying? But he paid all of their salaries, those that chose to sit out. And so, yeah, man, he's done so much, man. We highlighted like some of the things that he's done just this year. It was like 10 different things we had on the list of different causes that he supported and charities that he donated to. On his own. It's not like it's just stuff that's pushed by the establishment that they say you should support. You know what I mean? Because a lot of the athletes who do that, if it's breast cancer or something that the establishment is pushing, LGBT something, you know what I mean? Then, all of these superstar athletes will put up some bread for that. But this is stuff that he's finding on his own that he has a personal attachment to and a passion for it. And he's going in his pocket. And like she said, putting his money where his mouth is.
And let's be clear, too, he doesn't have to do that. He does not have to do that, but he's showing, hey, I support y'all because one, we support him. I believe that's a part of it. And he's saying, I made it. I want to reach back, and touch some of my people as well. And I think that he's demonstrating that with his actions. And again, I don't see a lot of these people. This Shanquilla Robinson thing is very high profile right now. I don't see a lot, of the academias and pundits really speaking about this case. So the fact that he went on into that quietly, into that GoFundMe, and donated what he did, he didn't put out a post or anything like that, but I don't see no posts. I don't see any spaces. I don't see a lot on people's social media, nothing about what happened to this beautiful sister. And I didn't even put it on my social media, but I will tell y'all at home, I've talked about it with my family. I've talked about it with my children, and it brought me to tears. You know what I'm saying? And I know that we've all had a hater ass friend. Some of us got some hater ass people on these spaces in these social media streets. But to think that some friends that you go on vacation with in 24 hours, you're no longer here because some hater ass friends. And yes, we don't know all the story, but these hater ass nigga friends that did this to this sister, it brought me to tears. I'm upset. I'm hurt. I feel for her parents. I saw her father break down as he spoke to a reporter yesterday, and that broke me. That broke my spirit, and I pray to God that those people, that her family gets justice.
Yeah, man, this is some wild
and those
stuff.
Motherfuckers, may they burn in his hell. May they rest in peace.
All right, we gotta be easy with the language now. We new levels, new devils.
But it just hurt my soul.
Just a reminder.
Sorry, and also just find out everything about a little bit that we know about this sister. She was an entrepreneur. This girl had her hands in a lot of things, creative, doing hair, had her own hairline, and I hear some maybe five or so different businesses. They took an entrepreneur from us. You know what I'm saying? Like, what could she have said or done to make y'all go to Mexico and do this to her?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. And it's like it's almost seemed like they planned that, right? Because they wasn't even there that long when that happened, right?
It literally, her mom said that she spoke to her. They arrived today, right? She FaceTime or spoke with her on the phone, and 24 hours after arriving, she was dead. And she got a call from the friend saying that the girl died from alcohol poisoning, but they were already on their way back from Mexico. First of all, autopsy hasn't, or toxicology report hasn't been completed. So how you know? How y'all know?
Crazy.
And then there's been one of the dudes, he's been kind of going on live or creating, lives or whatever. Y'all need to leave me alone and leave my mama alone. He just keeps talking. And I don't know his name, and forgive me for that, but he keeps creating videos of himself talking about the case, but not saying much. This is gonna be the nigga that's gonna tell everything. Y'all, the other ones that was involved, that's gonna be the nigga. He about to tell because he going crazy. He going crazy. He's ready to spill the beans because that heat is turning up, and this is gonna be the nigga to tell. And good.
Right. And so I was confused by one of the headlines that came out. They were saying that this crime is being investigated as a femicide.
Right.
They
That's
came
what
up
we
with a
are.
new term called femicide. And so I was reading the article trying to get an understanding. Remember, family, white supremacy is not based on logic. And I know some confused Negro right now saying what this got to do with white supremacy. Listen, all roads lead to white supremacy at the end of the day. I'll just say that. Um, but they make up these new terms every single day. But I was reading the damn article and I was more confused because I'm like, I didn't know if they was trying to say Shanquella was a trans or the person that was beating her was a trans or what does any type of femininity or sexuality have to do with this at all? I'm
I didn't get it
confused. I'm
either.
still confused. Did
Now
anybody get to get it?
there was rumors that the person that was beating her up in the video was a trans. I don't know how true that is. There hasn't been any confirmation on if that is true or not. But there's rumor that maybe some of the friends maybe had been either gay or trans or something like that. So I don't know this new term though. I don't know how that connects nonetheless.
So let me see.
And the dog and the dad did speak of his daughter. He said, I will never have grandchildren. I will not get to walk her down the aisle, all these things. So if Shanquilla was trans, she can't give birth. So I just, you read between the lines of how people speak and stuff like that. And this was his only child, per the father, his only child.
Right, right. And so on ABC News, it says Mexico investigates American woman's death as femicide. FBI opens probe. Shanquella Robinson died while vacationing in San Jose del Cabo. The FBI has opened a probe into the recent death of an American woman. Shanquella Robinson, 25, of Charlotte, North Carolina, went to San Jose del Cabo, a resort city on the southern tip of Mexico's Baja California Peninsula, with 6 friends on October 28th. They stayed at a rental villa in Fundadores, an exclusive gated community with vacation homes and a private beach club. Robinson's parents told Charlotte's ABC. The next day, Robinson's parents got a frantic telephone call from their daughter's friends saying she had died. They said she wasn't feeling well, that it was alcohol poisoning. Robinson's mother told ABC. The Mexican Secretary of Health's autopsy report and death certificate for Robinson, obtained by ABC News, lists her cause of death as severe spinal cord injury and atlas luxation. Luxation,
They broke my neck.
right, with no mention of alcohol. The document also states that the approximate time between injury and death was 15 minutes, while a box asking whether the death was accidental or violent was ticked yes. According to the document, which was dated November 4th, Robinson was found unconscious in the living room of a residence on Padre Quino Avenue and San Juan del Jose. In recent days, a video not verified by ABC News has surfaced online, purportedly showing a woman attacking Robinson. Speaking, Robinson's mother identified the people in the footage as the friends who accompanied her daughter to Mexico and said she believes it was taken during the trip. In the video, someone can be heard asking if Robinson could at least fight back. It's unclear when and where the video was taken. It was never a fight. She didn't fight. They attacked her, her mother said. She did not deserve to be treated like that. And so, yeah, if y'all saw the video, man, that was whack as hell, man.
And that was a moist dude in the background holding the camera saying, "Can you at least fight back? Can you at least fight back?" Like moist and posting this. That was entertainment for them.
And Mama Love saying that they robbed her for six to 10K as well.
I heard that too. I heard that too. So it sounds like there was a lot of jealousy. I think it sounds like also it was planned. Even the alcohol poisoning story, because I don't know if you guys heard just some time back, there was a situation in Mexico at a lot of the resorts where a lot of people were getting sick from alcohol poisoning. And from my understanding, it was like alcohol or something like that. Like, you know, all the top name brand alcohols, it was something to the effect that this was all like fake stuff, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people that were visiting certain parts of Mexico and certain resorts in Mexico was coming up with alcohol poisoning. Now, there were no deaths that I could remember, but I think that they Googled some shit, perhaps, or they knew about that story, called this girl's mom with that fake ass story that it was alcohol poisoning. Because obviously none is in her system according to the autopsy. And did they not know an autopsy would be completed? Dodos?
Right.
Like,
Right. Now that sound like they just panicked and came with the first stupid thing that came to their mind. Cause
and look, like Mama said, I heard that too. Sis paid for the Airbnb. Sis that got murdered is the one who paid for the Airbnb for everybody to turn up and have a good time. Did you guys also see the other video? There's a second one. She's the one who's actually recording. Everyone is up in one bedroom, kind of sitting on the bed, slaying around. And she's like, I hope y'all, got y'all swimsuit on. She's ready to turn up, you know what I'm saying, and go out. And as soon as she walked in, everybody just quiet. It was like they had this disdain, for her. And it's like, we're in Mexico. We've been here less than 24 hours. The first thing we do is go get in our room, put our stuff away, and let's get out. You know what I'm saying? It's still daytime. Like, why y'all all mean mugging? What's going on? Sounds like a setup.
Mama Love sent me the definition for femicide. She said it says femicide is a hate crime which is broadly defined as the intentional killing of women or girls because they are female. But the definition of it varies depending on cultural context. So they looking at possibly they did it because she was a girl. So were all of the other ones trans then? I don't get it. That's the only thing that would make sense. That would be the only thing that makes sense is if the friends were actually trans and they were jealous because she's a biological woman. Other than that, I don't know what they're talking about with this femicide thing.
Speak fine next. Because I saw this yesterday and I actually found it to be quite disrespectful. So T.S. Madison, I know you guys, maybe some of you guys have seen him on Fox Soul. I think he has a show, but he's a trans from male to female. And so he posts something on Twitter and says, now, why would someone even start that kind of lie, a trans person, and you people immediately believe this bogus shit? That was not true. No transgender woman beat Shanquilla Robinson to death. It was one of her own. You people immediately ran with that lie. My thing is, it doesn't matter to me if it was a trans person or a born male, born female, but they sure jump out, to make sure that they defend the trans community. And I have a problem with that.
Right.
It really shouldn't matter. It really shouldn't matter. But these are the same people that said Stacey Abrams not winning her mayoral or governor. They jumped down all black men. And even if it was a trans, does that mean all trans people are, murderers, and commit crimes? No. But does that mean we're going to call your ass out? Yes. It was a trans person that did it. Just like we call out white Hispanics when they do something. Same thing. Just like we call tethers out when they do something, as well as when we call out our own Sambozos within the foundational Black American community. We have to make sure that we specify who's who.
Yeah, that definitely that. And the thing about it is, it's weird because they claim to be women, right? They want us to just accept them as being women.
Right.
But now when something like this happened, you want to differentiate though. When something like this happened, what you mean by it was one of your own? I thought you were one of their own. I thought that was the same thing. That's what y'all trying to tell us.
So we don't have to respect their pronouns anymore when it comes to this. Don't respect the pronouns.
Make up your goddamn mind. Jesus. What's going on out here, man?
Man, yeah. So just again, rest in peace to her. That her family, a lot of cameras were out. She had a beautiful service. Beautiful service. Yeah. Rest in peace to you, Shanquilla. My prayers, my love is with your family, that they heal and they get justice. We're going to put that out there. We pray that they heal and that they get justice for this crime that happened against this beautiful sister.
So, moving on. Are the AMAs today?
I don't know if they're today, but I hear that, they canceled Chris Brown's performance, which was going to be a tribute to Michael Jackson.
Right.
He was posting rehearsals and stuff like that of doing the Thriller routine. I thought it was going to be lit. If I had tuned in, it would have only been for that, by the way.
Exactly. So I guess the AMAs is supposed to be today. And just yesterday, I think it was, on Friday, they released the 40th anniversary of Thriller or something. Is it the 40th anniversary? What was it? I seen something came out.
I think it's the 40th anniversary. It is the 40th anniversary, and they gave Chris Brown, from what he's posted, they gave him no reason, Nikki the God, for why they canceled him. So right. I think he was just as surprised as everyone else. I think they used him perhaps because he was posting, clips of the rehearsals for that tribute to probably get people to tune in. Now their numbers are going to be low, and they should be.
Oh, for sure. Ain't nobody watching that shit.
Nah.
Ain't nobody watching that shit. They're gonna have what's his name? What's the Puerto Rican dude's name? Colombian dude, whatever he is. They're gonna have Bad Bunny doing the Michael Jackson tribute.
Oh, God.
Nobody watching that. So on TMZ it says AMAs canceled my tribute. Not even sure why either. Chris Brown said. Chris Brown says he was supposed to put on a big tribute to MJ during the AMAs this weekend, but claims honchos pulled the plug last minute out of nowhere. The singer posted a lengthy video Saturday that shows him in a dance rehearsal with a group of people, and he's putting on some serious MJ moves. Y'all gotta watch that video. Chris Brown is a beast. Chris Brown is no joke, man. That's a talented brother right there, man. And they've been trying to sabotage this career for the longest.
Yes, and if anybody is going to do that tribute, it has to be Chris. There's no one else that can do it other than Chris. And the only person I can think of outside of him may be Usher, but disrespect to Usher, but I still feel like it has to be Chris. There's no other person that can do it.
Right, man. Right. Like, come on, man. And you know what it was, man. You know it was some shit behind the scenes where somebody, one of these feminists or whatever, was upset about it, and called their daddy, who probably run the show somewhere, and was like, "No, this can't happen. This can't happen. We're not celebrating him. We're not giving him no platform because, mind you, Chris Brown been putting out music consistently, um, and he hasn't really been getting the fanfare that he should get. I'll say that. You know what I'm saying? For the it's only one Chris Brown. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody else on his level. You know what I'm saying? Like Chris Brown is dope. Now, mind you, I like most of his old music better than more of his recent. Even though I do like his latest album. His latest album is pretty dope. But he did put out a lot of stuff that just wasn't for me. I ain't gonna say it was trash, but it wasn't for me. But he stayed relevant, all of these years without really the mainstream support like that. Really with attacks from the mainstream. You know what I'm saying? Just off of sheer talent, he's been able to maintain his relevance. You know what I'm saying? And so this is just another one of those bogus moves, man, they doing to try to sabotage the man's career. I'm glad he put it out there and didn't just stay quiet about it. And I seen MC Hammer and a few other celebrities that was calling out the AMAs, you know what I mean, telling them, they need to let that man perform. Everybody know, if it's going to be an MJ tribute and Chris Brown ain't in it, is it really an MJ tribute?
Nope. Honestly, I hope that maybe he figures out another way to maybe stream, those rehearsals and still do it on his own. We would definitely support that. He has all that background footage of those rehearsals. It would be dope if he's able to pull that off.
Right, I agree. But the problem with that would be the licensing for the music and all that. You know what I'm saying?
Talk to the family.
The family, they done sold it back to Sony.
Oh,
you ain't know that?
All of it? All of it?
They done sold it back to Sony, man. Sony came and scooped that whole catalog back up and all the other stuff that he had. Because he owned half of Sony. They came and scooped all that stuff up. And yeah, man, that was the whole plan. That was the whole plan to get Mike up out of here so they can get that catalog back.
Wow.
And yeah, that was sad right there. They let that thing go for I forgot what it was. It was something light though, like 60 million or something like that.
That wasn't enough.
Nah, that wasn't close to it. Not even close to enough. It was something light. There was a 6 in there. It might have been 6 billion. I don't think it was in the B's though. I think it was 60 million or something. Something real low. But it was worth way more than that. Way, way more than that. You're supposed to hold on to that forever.
Right. Well,
700 million it was. It was 700 million. I think it was 600.
Still ain't enough.
It was a 6 in there. But yeah, they ain't enough. That ain't enough. That's Thriller by itself. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's Thriller just by itself. It's worth way more than that, man. All that music. But what else we got? What else we got popping off?
Sure, we got a lot of stuff. Okay, so and we'll bring some more entertainment. Donald Trump has been reinstated back to Twitter, and Twitter is going crazy right now.
Did he tweet anything
Donald
yet?
Trump is back. Say that again.
I said, did he tweet anything crazy yet?
He hasn't tweeted anything, to be honest, that I've seen. Everything that I've seen is old, but everyone on Twitter, all the pundits, the Black Lives Matter crowd, white and black ones, they're all upset. Even Kanye has been reinstated.
Hey, listen, man. Shout out to Elon Musk, man. Elon Musk over there shaking things up. I ain't mad at him.
Yeah, I ain't mad at him either. But my thing is, I just feel like, regardless to if you like what he said or not, to censor a sitting president or anyone, for that matter, I just can't roll with that, the censorship thing, because, if you allow that, you got to get prepared for everything else that's going to come.
Right, it's a slippery slope, man. It's a slippery slope, and people don't see how that's going to affect you at you celebrating something that's going to come right back and smack you in the mouth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Man, free the slaves, man. Free the slaves.
Well, just the same. When it's time for the election and stuff like that, and when he does decide to start tweeting, it's going to be entertaining as heck. And I'm here for it. I'm here. We're all going to have a lot of content. Let's just say that.
Facts. Facts. And so yeah, for those of y'all that weren't aware, he also announced his presidential
Candidacy.
run. He's re-entering the run for presidency 2023, 2024, whatever it is. Donald Trump is back in the mix. So y'all think the Republicans are gonna rock with him? Because
You know what?
honestly, I don't know because the only reason why I felt like he even lost to Joe Biden was because a lot of Republicans turned on him. You know what I'm saying? Like a
Right.
lot of Republicans went to the polls and they voted blue out on that top ballot, and then they voted red all the way down the rest of the ballot. That's what I feel
Right.
like went on with that last one. So I don't know if he's gonna get the support that he need, but if he do, who the hell the Democrats gonna get?
Mm.
The Democrats ain't got
Uh,
nobody.
there's rumors. There's rumors. Again, I'm here in LA, y'all. So there is rumors that our Governor Newsom may throw his hat in. There's rumors. We don't know, but there's been
Interesting.
some loud rumors. There's definitely been some loud rattles, out here about that.
That's interesting. That could be interesting. You know what I'm saying? He got some national clout. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
He's a nationally recognized name, and shit, he co-signed the reparations bill out there,
That's what I was going. That's what he will run on. But my thing is,
and he gave
co-signing
the
it
Bruce
ain't enough.
family. He gave the he
Yeah.
gave the Bruce he gave the Bruce's family that property back, that land back, that beachfront.
And to be honest, I think he just attached himself to that because that work was being done before he endorsed it.
Was it?
Yeah, that work was already pretty much kind of getting done before he put his name on it and started to publicly support it. But there was others out here that were already on that. To be honest, if
I'll
we
still
just gonna
give
keep it above,
I'll still give him a little bit of credit because he could have went against it.
I
He could have
agree,
went against it.
and even with the reparations. But my thing is, that ain't enough because
No,
now we need to talk about what those reparations look like and really start cutting these damn checks. You know what I'm saying?
right,
If you support it all the way.
right,
Don't support it just to get more Democratic, people on your side, especially if you plan to run, because we already know what Black people gonna do. Sadly, the
right.
ones that's
Because
still on that plantation. You know,
at the end of the day, I still got a problem with his immigration stance. Still got a
yes,
problem with him pushing that pandemic, all that stuff around the pandemic and all of that. Still got a problem with the LGBT stuff. You know what I'm
yes,
saying? So yeah,
mm,
I ain't super impressed. I ain't super
right.
impressed by them Newsom. I'm just saying it would be interesting.
Right. And again, even with reparations thing, I understand, yeah, you agreed to it being lineage based and saying you support it, but support it how? You can't just support it with your name. We need those tangibles, buddy. We need those reparations. We need those checks cut. If you support it, don't do it as a symbolic gesture. Do it for real, for real. Which right now, I know that the folks on the reparations task force right now, they are talking about what reparations look like monetarily. So right now, that's what the discussion is about. But before his ass go, what I'm saying, we need something concrete.
And Calvin said yes, his name is on the table, and that's my brother. He
Uh-huh.
works down. He works down there in DC, so he got some inside information as far as that.
Told you those
So
loud rattles. This is for real out here. He is definitely thinking about running. It's been noise about that, and believe that even him getting behind the California reparations thing was for that reason. He knew that that would get him kind of the black vote, if you will. I will say this for Trump though, and we talked about this. What was that last Wednesday when we had our guy Royce White on?
mm,
As far as the Republicans, you guys have a whole base over here. A whole base over here. All y'all got to do is get behind reparations and other tangibles. That's all y'all got to do. Y'all have a whole base over here. Y'all can turn it all the way upside down. But do you really want it?
facts.
Do you really fuck with us like that? You know what I'm saying? I understand we haven't fucked with y'all. You know what I'm saying? But we understand why that is now.
Yeah,
And a lot of us have gotten on cold on that. You know what I'm saying? But you can pull us away from that too. But you got to bring some tangibles. What are you willing to do?
Right. That's a fact. And speaking about voting blocks, there's a group down here in Atlanta. I'm still looking into them to see what they about. I'm trying to get them on the Godcast, of course. But some of the stuff that I was seeing on social media, I was like, oh, this sounds kind of cool. Even though they got the minority language and all of that stuff in there. Um,
Uh,
this dude, what's his name? What's his name? Ali at Lakewood is the Instagram page.
is it this one? I just
Ali at Lakewood is the Instagram page. The brother's name is something Ali. What's your name, brother? Something Ali. But him and his dad, they own this collective retail experience that offers ease, elegant services, and unique event space thriving in historic Lakewood Heights community. So this building is like a mixed business space. And it's from all I see is black people, even though they keep saying minorities and people of color, they do use that language. But everybody that I see that they dealing with is black people. It's just black folks. And what they did was they galvanized a lot of black people in the Atlanta area around Georgia. Huh?
I said, but
What you
was
say?
that for marketing? Was that
I
for
mean,
marketing? You
it
know,
could be. It could be just, or that's just what people are used to. Everybody is not hip to, you know, what we got going on in the new black media and the new lexicon that we use. You know what I'm saying? Some people are just still tuned into mainstream media and still, what I mean, got mainstream information. But what they did was they galvanized a lot of black people around Georgia, and they formed a voting block. They formed a voting block, and they were chopping it up with Kemp. They did kind of like what Ice Cube did. They was chopping it up with Kemp. They was chopping it up with Stacey Abrams, and whoever was gonna make sure that they had what they needed as far as black businesses is concerned, that's who was going to get the vote. And they ended up going with Kemp. Kemp kind of showed them some love. Kemp showed them some love and put some stuff in place that they was asking for, and they moved the needle. They got all these black people to go vote Kemp down there.
and that's great. And again, that's what Killer Mike was kind of alluding to as well.
He's
When
on
it
their
came
page.
to,
Mike is on
yeah,
their page too.
yeah, he was saying, just about, the outreach, for the black vote when it came from to Stacey Abrams. She really didn't do anything. He was saying Kemp came to the barbershops. He came to the neighborhood. He went to the churches. He did all that stuff. And he appreciated the fact that he did reach out, have conversations with him and other black business owners out there about specifically what do black people need and want. Whereas she didn't. I think she just felt like she was entitled to it.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna play this video so y'all can get a better idea.
Hence why
Hold
her
on.
ass lost.
Hold on. Can I? Oh, this is one of those. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Let me
I'm
share
going to share
this.
that thing on my stories too about the LA Lakewood so people can go read it. You can follow my story.
I ain't gonna play. I ain't gonna play it. This is something that was from the
That's right.
news. This
Oh,
is something that was from the news. But yeah, page about what we talking about as far as that. They got the
I
news
shared it on
story
my
page. Okay, there you go. There you go. I ain't gonna play the video though, just because of copyrights and all of that stuff.
Yeah, they're trying to. And speaking of Stacey Abrams, I thought this was what's the word am I looking for? Disingenuous. I'll say that. I'll say disingenuous. But she went on of all people. How you say this fool's name? Kwali.
Quali.
Yeah, him. And to talk about reparations. And this tether literally does not support it. He's a Democratic shield. And I just felt that it was very disingenuous for her to sit on his platform to talk about reparations. I was not impressed by that. Her fake support of it. Why would you talk to him who's pretty much against, foundational Black Americans specifically getting reparations for us? Why would you go talk to him? That just
And
didn't
that's
make
the
sense to me.
It makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense because they get to pretend like they're supporting something that they're against. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to sell us on the fact that they're supporting something while simultaneously being against it. And you can just tell
Right.
by the language that they use. They use all this broad, ambiguous language talking about reparations and not specifying who it's for or what it's going to look like, and uh, highlighting all of the so-called roadblocks to getting there of why we can't do it. You know what I'm saying?
And
So
excuse me, I want to just
it's
correct myself as
nonsense.
well. I said States, but it was actually Karen Bass who just won the governor's race here in California. So he actually sat with her. Now, if anyone has followed her on social media or followed her campaign as she has run, she ain't did no black outreach either. She just felt entitled to it. All her outreach was to illegals and legal immigrants. Her ex-husband is Mexican. Her grandchildren that she pulled up on stage, they don't even look like us. I'm just saying. So again, it was still disingenuous to sit down with him to talk about reparations. And you have not, when I say you, I mean her, she has not come out full throated in support of reparations at all. And there is a California reparations task force. She has not come out full throated in support of it.
Shout out to Afro Elite in the digital building. I see you, King.
Peace.
By the way, make sure y'all hit the like button. Those of y'all that just got in here not too long ago, make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all hit that share button, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Hit the notification bell so you can be reminded whenever we go live, man. Y'all watching Sincere Love the Godcast. We do this every Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Time.
I got to get back to reparations again because this is a hot topic too. So, San Francisco launches transgender guaranteed income program. So basically, California has introduced reparations for trans people, y'all.
Oh, Jesus.
Right. And there's no study. They already have a dollar amount that they plan, to give people within the transgender community or whatever. So there's no study. It's $1,200 each. So let me just read it. San Francisco Mayor London Bree announced the launch of a new guaranteed income program for San Francisco's trans community. The Guaranteed Income for Trans People program will provide low-income transgender San Franciscans with $1,200 a month for up to 18 months to help address financial insecurity within trans community, i.e. the white ones.
Yep. You already know how that goes. They have a few token Negroes around for gutter sex, but
Right.
they don't really share no resources.
Did you hear anything about a study though? They didn't say we're going to study reparations or the guarantee for the trans community. It's already a dollar amount, a time frame on which they're going to receive these funds, etc.
They get right to it. Right to it. And I told y'all back in May, June, when we were moving, when we were looking for a new place to stay, when you go to a lot of these rental sites, Zillow and rent.com and all these different sites, they have tags on a lot of these homes for LGBTQ people where they could get vouchers, where they don't have to meet certain requirements. When you're looking for a place, you gotta make 3 times the rent amount. You got to be able to show this, show that. You know what I'm saying? In order to get approved, they bypass it. They mitigate a lot of that stuff. If you're LGBTQ, you don't have to make a certain amount. You don't have to show your tax forms because they know a lot of them, they sex workers and stuff like that. And they just basically give them all types of subsidies and vouchers so that they can get the homes, faster than straight people. You know what I'm saying?
I wonder how that works out though for the Black trans community.
Well, it's not just trans; it's LGBT. Period.
LGBT. Period. I wonder how those programs benefit the Black LGBTQ trans QIATUV people.
I don't know, but I was thinking about checking that box off. I was gonna check the box off. And say, yeah, I'm a little bussy friendly. Let me get that voucher. You get that voucher popping. Because how you verify something like that?
Verify it.
You got to be married. You got to be married or something. Like, how you verify that?
Maybe there's a pap smear for your pussy to make sure that there's a pussy pap smear. How do we verify this? Because if that's the case, I'm checking it.
For real. We on dead ass, man. I was telling my wife, I'm like, yo, you should just don't even put me on the lease. Put one of your homegirls on the lease and just say y'all in a relationship together. You know what I'm saying? It's always been LGBTQ is becoming synonymous with the yeah. Be careful with the J word in the chat, but yeah, you're absolutely right, Flournoy. Yeah, man.
God, I don't think you can ask that question because from what I saw on his timeline, you on his shit list.
He was going in on Nikki the God.
Open. Oh yeah, he posted her picture. If I'm not mistaken, Juicy Genius. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, he mad at them for something. I don't know what. Yeah.
And speaking of Nikki the God, man. Speaking of Nikki the God, shout out to Nikki the God, man.
Shout out to my sis.
She hosted a space today. We did a space with Vicky Dillard on Twitter. Great space. By the way, and Nikki, let me just give Nikki her flowers. Nikki deserves her flowers, man. You know what I'm saying? My sister, all week long, you know, she's hitting me up. Oh, I'm nervous. I don't know about this. I'm getting cold feet. I'm getting cold feet. And she did such a great job. Like, Nikki,
she always does.
You built for this. Like you are dead ass a natural. Like, you know, she was looking to kind of default to me, but you did a better job than I ever could have done. Just being honest, not trying to be no fake humble or nothing. You did a better job than I ever could have done as a host in the space. Like, you do this. Like, a lot of times we don't recognize our own talents and our own gifts. Like, I couldn't picture myself doing what we're doing now. You know what I'm saying? Like, now I be studying journalists and stuff like that. I study interviewers and how they get down and, you know, how they frame their questions and how they segue into different topics and things like that. I actively study it now because this is what we do. But prior to me doing this, I never really thought that this was something that I could be good at. And I remember back in the days when I was with my older children's mom, long time ago. I don't even think my daughter was born at this time. But 106 in Park, this is how long ago it was. 106 in Park, I think this is when AJ and Freeze era was ending and they were looking for new hosts. They were having like a contest for people to come on and audition to be the new host of 106 in Park. Like, they was bringing different people on each week to co-host the show to figure out who they was going to pick to be the next host. And my baby moms kept telling me, yo, you need to do that. You need to sign up for that. You need to go try out for that. And I was like, me? Like, I never thought that was something that I could do. You know what I'm saying? But she saw something in me that I didn't recognize in myself. Because now look, you know what I'm saying? Now look, this is exactly what I do. You know what I'm saying? So I need you to recognize that in yourself, Nikki. You got this. You dope. You talented. You smart. You smart. You know what I'm saying? You ask the right questions. You got great energy. And yeah, man, you do a good job, man. You need to do it more. You need to do more.
She's genuine. She loves Black people. She's definitely on code. She's B1 as AF, you know, and I even reach out to her, you know, sometimes when I'm nervous about something or just to give her flowers and, you know, just to give her that push that sometimes she needs. So she knows I rock with her. I'm 10 toes down with her. So I don't feel like I need to explain that. She knows I ride with my sister.
Yeah. Nikki is good, man. You just need to do it more. The more you do it, the more confident you will get. And the nervousness is okay. The nervousness is not going to go away, but it shouldn't go away. You know what I'm saying? You should be nervous each and every time because you want to do a good job. You know what I'm saying? So the nerves are good. Don't worry about that. But just keep doing it. And you know what I mean? So let me know if you ever need my assistance again. I have fun. It was a good conversation with our sister Vicky. I wish we had more time. I know a lot of people wanted to come on and ask questions and stuff. But I think it was good. You know, the amount of time that we had, the topics that were covered.
It was
I think it was good. Michael Warren, make sure I get that replay, brother. I'm gonna post it over here on our page. Also, I know y'all gonna put it on the New Black Media Archives, but we're gonna premiere it here on our channel as well. So let me get that.
And while you're talking about premiere and stuff like that, there's a clip. There's a portion of that conversation that I was in Walmart, y'all, with my phone on speaker while that space was going on, where excuse me, our sister Vicky was talking about saying that our ancestors died for our rights to vote. When she touched on that, that just made because I'm always in our back channel, like, look at this, you know what I'm saying? So when she said that, I was just like, okay, I feel vindicated, because I'm always talking about that. Like, it is to me a form of disrespect in a way to say that our ancestors died, for our right to vote, when in fact they died because they were Black. They were targeted because they were Black, and when they did vote, they was voting for tangibles. Period. They wasn't voting just to be voting. They wasn't voting because someone was Black. They wasn't voting because that person said that they were Democrat. They were voting for a better way for themselves and our people. So to say that they died for our right to vote is disingenuous, is stupid, and stop saying that shit to those that say
Word. And the way that she worded it, and the energy that she came with, because she got turned up when she was talking about that.
All the way up.
You know what I'm saying?
Put that one and make that one into one of our little, the videos that you do. We got to put that out there. I need this specifically to some folk directly that ain't on Instagram.
For sure. That was the best part. And I was so glad, because I was getting ready to cut dude off, because dude, he was getting long-winded. He wasn't really asking a question. You know what I'm saying? Some of the stuff he said was cool, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, okay. I'm about to cut this dude off. And I'm glad I didn't, because that needed to happen. That needed to happen. And so
look at God. Look at God.
For real. What's going on?
Always here? in the midst. So while we're doing that, I wanted to talk about degeneracy, and also how they seem to always get these slaps on the wrist. So there's 3 topics that I want to talk about that kind of all go together. One is going to be Andy Dick. I don't know if you guys remember him, but he's a white comedian. I think he's an actor too. Maybe he did a few things. But Andy Dick was sentenced to 90 days in jail and will have to register as a sex offender after being convicted of sexual battery from a 2018 assault. 90 days, y'all. First of all, they're going to say the jails are overcrowded, give him time served. They'll figure out some way or another for him not to do 1 minute in jail. And having to, register as a sex offender, is that going to stop him from, getting gigs, stand-up jobs and stuff like that? Like, how is this?
He's not canceled. He's not canceled at all.
Right. At all. He's not canceled.
I did more time. I did more time than that for a dirty urine.
Right.
Just to put it in perspective. Okay.
And also, just to know, he was arrested for allegedly grabbing the crotch of an Uber driver.
I think it's a whole predator.
A whole predator. And he has to register. But I just want to know, who's canceling him? How is that going to affect his money? Is Chase going to close his bank account and tell him to move his money out of their accounts? Like, what's the real punishment?
Right. What else you said went along with that?
So another one that went along with it, this is CNN.com, by the way. Judge drops 4 of the 11 charges against Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, I knew that was.
Yeah,
they trying to quietly do that too.
So you guys know that he's I don't know if he started trial, but he's going to be beginning trial here in LA. The judge overseeing the Harvey Weinstein sexual assault trial in Los Angeles dropped 4 of the 11 charges against him on Tuesday, after prosecutors said they do not intend to proceed with counts. Sorry, something popped up. With counts, With counts connected to one of the accused. The 4 drop charges, 2 counts of forcible rape and 2 counts of forcible oral copulation, were based on accusations from one woman identified as Jane Doe number 5. However, prosecutors did not mention her in opening statements when they stated that 8 other women were expected to testify in the case against Weinstein. So 4, and I feel like those are 4 strong charges. Forcible rape,
Right.
isn't that what this is about?
Right. Right. And so the judge dropped the charges, by the way. It's not the prosecution. It's not that the prosecution said, we don't have enough to go forward or anything like that. The judge dropped the charges. If I was the prosecution in that matter, I would have requested for a change of venue anyway, because Harvey Weinstein being such a big wig out in Hollywood, you got too much pull out here. You know what I'm saying? In order for us to be able to conduct a fair trial, we need to request a change of venue. We need to take this somewhere else on a level playing field. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
And so I know the other one got to be that cop.
Yep, exactly. Ex-cop Roger Golubsky charged in conspiracy with drug dealers to rape teens. And this is a former Kansas City Police Department detective. He's been indicted by the Department of Justice for targeting young Black girls, forcing them into sexual slavery, and forcibly raping at least one of them himself.
And what's the punishment?
Basically, he's just been charged right now. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen.
Is he in jail? Is he out on bail? Is he locked up? What's going on?
Let's see. It doesn't say in here on this specific article. I don't have the main one on here. This is just this is from more info too on IG.
Read the caption.
That's what I'm reading.
Read the caption. Yeah.
It doesn't say anything. He's charged, not in jail. Charged.
Okay.
And some of the victims, by the way, you guys, is as young as 13 years old.
That's why we need that hate crime bill.
Where's what's her big nose self from Me Too? What's her name?
Tyrannosaurus Burke.
Yeah. Where's she at? Because I haven't seen her mouth on. And these are 3. The Weinstein thing's been going on, but these 4 accounts that have been dropped, that's very new. That's within the last couple weeks. You have this ex-detective situation, and the victims are Black girls. Then you have Andy Dick, who's I guess a celebrity, if you will. Where's Tyrannosaurus Burke? Ma'am.
Well, it's not her job to go after. It's not her job to go after white men. Remember?
She did say that. She
She kept it a buck.
She absolutely did that.
She kept it a buck. So can't be too mad at her.
So, and I didn't want to talk about. We should have spoken about this one right after we spoke about Shanquilla, but you guys also know that there were 3 young, Black men that were murdered on campus last week at the University of Virginia by another brother. His father actually spoke to news reporters, of course, giving his condolences and stuff. And he said, and I'm paraphrasing, but that his son kind of was telling him that he was kind of getting into it, I guess, with some kids at the school. And his dad told him, what, just ignore it. Just go up there, go to school, do what you got to do. I think he only had 1 more year left in school. And he took a gun, I think on a school bus, if I'm not mistaken, and he shot 3 of his campus mates.
Yeah, that was strange, man.
Some that would have graduated this year. That was very strange. Very, very, very strange. My condolences to all parties.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. All that potential.
Yeah.
Because what I seen from these guys, these were some ballers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
They had
three
this.
football
They had they
players.
had, they had the skills, the size, everything. You know what I'm saying? They were some high prospects. But even if they weren't, just still like damn, homie, like I don't know what's up with some of this younger generation, man. It's like very sensitive and just can't really
Mhm.
take much of anything because it sound like they was just fucking with him. You know what I'm saying? It sound like they was just teasing him and
What we
shit. You
do
know?
as NBAs, we clown, we bag on
Yeah,
you, we talk about what you know how you dress or something like that. That's just what we do, all in fun. And these are
yeah.
athletes. So what happened to the, what they call the locker room talk or whatever? That's part of the bagging and getting hazed a little bit, for fun. Like,
Right, man. And it's like, to the other guys too, to some of y'all brothers out there that, we do get down like that. But you gotta be mindful of when somebody seem like they can't really take it like that and kind of just chill out a little bit with some of these people, man, because y'all generation different, man. Y'all don't got the tough skin like we had. And
mm,
I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what it
it's
is.
in
Y'all
the water.
just easily get pushed over the edge, man.
I want to just say this victims' names: Lavelle Davis Jr., Deshaun Perry, and Devin Chandler. Rest in peace to them. And again, condolences to their loved ones.
Right, all right, RP, man.
All right, so I thought this was interesting. You know, I have this is giving me hope, y'all. A little bit. It's giving me hope, but highlights from Camilla Moore's speech at Harvard. No, no, that wasn't it. Yeah, that is it. I'm sorry. So Camilla Moore may be the chair of the historic California Reparations Task Force, but her work in respiratory justice stretches far beyond her role on the board. Attorney and repertory justice scholar, Moore uses, sorry, something popped up, her extensive expertise and knowledge to advance the cause of reparations for Black Americans in various ways. Recently, Moore was closing keynote speaker at the Reparations Symposium hosted by Harvard University's FXB Center for Health and Human Rights. Let me go up. During her speech, Moore explain why her work is so personal to her. She shares stories from her ancestors who were enslaved at the Whitney Plantation in Louisiana, those who lived in the Chatham, Mississippi, those who lived in Chatham, Mississippi, according to a Twitter user identified as Nashawn Dion. Camila Moore choked back tears as she discussed her ancestors who were slaves on the Whitney Plantation in Louisiana and those who lived in Chatham, Mississippi. Dion retweeted. When she wrote her speech, she didn't think of it. Wait, she didn't think it would move her to tears. I didn't think I would cry today, but I did. Let me go down. Sorry, y'all. More also outlined the many ways the country has victimized Black Americans to demonstrate why reparations are necessary. These are just a sampling of those atrocities brought upon Black Americans since they first stepped into their feet on American soil. Slavery, sharecropping, segregation, mass incarceration, police violence, extrajudicial killings, and deprivation of wealth. Moore said, according to a tweet by Harvard Public Health Magazine. And there's more. You guys can, I'll share the link on my Instagram stories, but I love her passion for what it is that she's doing here for the reparations task force. I believe that she should be running for some type of seat, to not only be on a reparations task force, but make sure that when these things go to Congress, et cetera, that she's in position to make sure that that also moves beyond, the task force. So I do appreciate Camila Moore's her work here for California in the reparations task force. So I just wanted to highlight that. She was also on the Revolt Summit, sitting with Tariq Teslin, Riza Islam, and also Erica. I think her last name is Williams, if I'm not mistaken. Forgive me if I got that wrong, but she was also Alexander. There you go. She was there, so you guys can also check her out on the Revolt Summit. And again, she was talking about reparations. So shout out to this sister.
Yeah, shout out to Camilla Moore, man. She be dropping it, man. And also, I want to give props to what's the brother's name? He had the reparations rally that was supposed to on the day that Tariq's was supposed to be on.
What was his name?
I know y'all know his name in the
I
chat.
just had a brain
Nikki Star, one of y'all. But I seen some video of him recently. He was having some type of debate. He was on a panel, some type of debate about reparations, and it was some raccoon Negro up there talking down on cash payments. What's his name?
Right? Rashid or Rashad?
Yeah, Rashad, brother Rashad.
Rashad Singleton.
That's his name. Yeah, Rashad Singleton. And so, yeah, it was some raccoon up there that was talking down about cash payments and how we shouldn't want that. And I don't get people with that talking point. But Rashad was spitting fire. Rashad spit some facts up there on the joint. So I take my hat off to him. Rashad Singleton. I take my hat off to him too. He was representing in a real way. So shout out to him.
What I noticed, about a lot of the people who claim to support reparations, but they never ever want to support it in the with cash payments. Well, you support it for everybody else. You support everybody else getting cash. We want cash too, because what can we do without it? I can buy my own land, although I feel like the government owes it to us. You know what I'm saying? But if that's not a part of it, if they can't work that out, then I can buy my own.
Right. Even I
can pay for that too if I need to.
Even our brother last week that we had on, Royce White, he was talking against how we shouldn't want cash because it's hyperinflated and the dollar is falling off and all of this stuff. And it's like, the dollar is good enough for everybody else.
Yeah.
It's working for everybody else. It'll work for us.
And my thing is, it's the same dollar that you're getting on this job when we go to these jobs, whatever your job may do, right?
Yeah,
even if you work for yourself.
Tell your boss you don't want that check at the end of the week.
Yeah, right. And even if you work for yourself, whatever it is that you do to generate income for yourself, it's that same goddamn dollar, right? So when it comes to reparations, don't tell me that the dollar ain't worth nothing. The U.S. dollar is this and that. Well, right now it's worth something. And everybody, we see millions of people jumping the border right now to get this dollar that ain't worth shit. So I want some too.
Word up. I don't get that at all. And I'm tired of hearing that.
But I don't listen. That's when my mind, shuts down. When people start saying that, I'll be like, okay, you really don't support reparations.
Right.
Don't say you're for it if you're not supporting cash payments. That doesn't.
It ain't reparations. And that's the other thing too. I didn't think of it until I was watching the replay when Royce was saying that. But as Camilla Moore has pointed out plenty of times, there is an international legal definition of reparations, and there's 5 pillars that it must include, and the main one is cash payments.
Cash payments.
The main one is cash payments, but she emphasizes over and over again, if it doesn't have those 5 pillars, and I don't remember all 5 off the top of my head, but if it doesn't have those 5 pillars, legally, it's not reparations.
It's not reparations.
So they keep trying to put the name reparations on all these other things, but it's not reparations at all. Naeem and Rashad, yeah. There you go. All right, man.
I'm going to read those pillars.
Start wrapping this thing up. Yeah, read those pillars if you got them.
I do. So the 5 pillars of reparations: number 1, compensation. Number 2,
check. That's a check.
Right.
By the way,
restitution.
That's another check.
3, rehabilitation. 4, satisfaction. 5, Guarantee of non-repetition.
If you don't got all
Check,
five of
check,
those, you
check.
don't got reparations.
You don't have reparations.
So whoever talking about reparations without cash payments, they're not talking about reparations. We need to just ignore them from now on. You need to just ignore them. If anybody that we interviewing has that talking point, we're just gonna segue to the next topic.
Well, no, I want to link them the 5 pillars first, and then we can segue. But I just need them to understand what it is. And if you support reparations, if you say that you support reparations, if these people are putting themselves in positions to where they're going to start running, for different, seats, etc., and you claim that you support reparations, and because you want the Black vote to get behind you, then you have to also welcome those 5 pillars. You have to be for those 5 pillars, and a check is the first 2. So,
right. Can you say them again? Compensation.
Ooh, hold on, because I don't know them by heart.
Restitution.
Compensation. Hold on. And it's so funny because my son is actually going to be speaking about reparations at the Black Student Union at his high school. And so I took him, of course, to the rally for reparations. So he's super excited to educate.
That's dope right there.
Yeah, that is dope. So it's compensation, restitution, rehabilitation, satisfaction, and guarantee of non-repetition. Compensation, restitution, rehabilitation, satisfaction, guarantee of non-repetition.
I say it 3 times like Dr. Umar.
Compensation, restitution, rehabilitation, satisfaction, guarantee of non-repetition. And so I'll just kind of also go in on here because it's on the Black News Daily. So cash compensation, the injuring state restitution or individual. Wait, it's so small. So let me try to read it for y'all.
I might have spelled some of that wrong, but y'all get the damn point.
Or individuals is obligated to compensate for the damage if damage is not made good by restitution. Compensation required for any financially accessibly damage suffered to the extent appropriate and proportional to the gravity of the violation and circumstances. Restitution and reparation. Restitution means to reestablish the situation which existed before the wrongful act was committed. Change is traced to the wrongful act or reversed through restoration of freedom, recognition of humanity, identity, culture. What is that? Repetition, livelihood, citizenship, legal standing, and wealth to the intent they can be, and if they cannot, restitution completed by compensation. Rehabilitation shall be provided to include legal, medical, psychological, and other care and services. Guarantee of non-repetition. Under international law, a state responsible for wrongfully injuring a people is under an obligation to a cease of the act if it is continuing, and B, offer appropriate reassurance and guarantee of non-repetition.
There it is. And so basically, it's the same thing that Jewish people get.
Same people that the Native Americans get.
Same thing that the Native American tribes get. Same thing that the Jewish people get. And
isn't it also almost the same with the Chinese get? I mean, they may not. You know what I'm saying? They definitely get reparations. They getting restitution.
Japanese.
They get compensation for sure. There's a Chinatown in every major city, so they got that.
Talking about the Japanese.
The Japanese, there you go. Same thing to me.
It's not the same thing. Don't do that. It's not the same thing.
Well, we
But
all the same.
right, they've been delineated though. They got their delineation in order.
All
Let me
right.
see. By the way, man, anybody that wants to get cartoon by me, just hit me up.
Oh, yeah.
Just hit me up and let me know. Just all you gotta do is send me a clear, well lit photo of yourself or whoever you would like to get cartooned, and I could hook that up for you for a very low, reasonable price. You know what I'm saying? Nothing crazy. I'm not hitting people over the head at all. Hit me up. Come get cartoon by Sincere Love to God.
Yes. And before we go, I cannot leave without doing this story because it was another one I feel like got enough attention. Definitely not in mainstream media. Definitely on the social media, of course. But a white New Jersey politician calls the police on a black girl for counting lantern flies. Did you guys see that?
Oh man, yeah, I saw that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and that was up in New Jersey. And then they also released a 911 call, and he never once said it was a child. He said a woman.
Yeah, he's calling out a woman. Yeah.
Yeah, he was calling her a woman, and I just was like, and the mother alluded to this. What was he expecting the police to come and do? We know, what I'm saying, but these people are disgusting.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was disgusting and sad. But all right, y'all. All right.
And others, yeah. Shout out to Nikki the God. Shout out to my son Seven. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And so, yeah, I heard Tariq talking about doing a workshop, teaching parents how to educate their children about racism, white supremacy. And so, I had to volunteer my services for that ASAP. You know what I'm saying? So,
Absolutely.
you know what I mean? Y'all need to tag Tariq in my post. When I put up posts with my son, we talking about racism and all of that stuff. Y'all need to tag Tariq in those posts so he could see what we got going on over here, because I definitely want to be a part of that. You know what I'm saying? I have personal experience and expertise where I could definitely help some parents out with, creative ways on how to introduce some of these tough topics to your small children without it being traumatizing for them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I definitely want to be a part of that for the expo that we got coming up down in Dallas in May, I think it's going to be. And so I'm looking forward to being there either way. But I want to be a part of that workshop. So y'all make sure y'all tag Tariq, let him know I exist.
I was nervous when he finally said that it was going to be Memorial Day weekend. I was nervous when he first said May, with kind of no context on the date, because my son's prom is May, graduation. I'm sorry?
I said because your son graduating, right?
Yeah, his prom is in May, which I have the dates. We have the dates for everything, but his prom is in May, and the graduation is in June. So when he said May, initially I was like, watch it be the weekend of my son's graduation, a prom. I'm not going to be able to go. And he said Memorial Day. I was like, ooh, I can go.
Don't get too happy because it ain't locked in yet.
I know. He said Memorial Day weekend though. So if it's Memorial Day weekend or after that, I'm still good.
Word. But yeah, we trying to be in the building. Our book should be definitely be available by then. And so, you know what I mean? We're going to look to do some vending down there and all of that stuff. Bring Seven out, let everybody get a chance to meet Seven in person and all of that. And so, yeah. I think that about does it for today's episode of Sincere Love to GodCast.
I'm hungry.
You know what I mean? Appreciate everybody tuning in with us as always. Remember, we do this every Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Time. Wait, where's my stuff? Okay. 1 p.m. Pacific Time, where we do shows just like this, talk about current events and other important issues that are pertinent to what's going on in Black society. And you can catch us on Wednesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time for the Black Business Showcase. This week, we're going to have our sister Brown Skin Baddie pulling up. She's going to be the co-host of the new broadcast that we got coming up, the Pick Me GodCast. So we're going to let y'all get to know her a little bit, get all up in her Black business. And yeah. That's it for now. Am I forgetting anything? Nicely.
I'm sorry. There we go. You were not on screen at all. It was. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I can't hear you. There you go. What'd you say?
Oh Lord. All right. Well, it's the end of the show, and now Nicety's screen is active. So we out of here, family. We appreciate y'all, man. We'll see y'all in a couple of days. Remember, we are not the master teachers, but we are the master students and signal boosters for the voices of the new Black media. Peace and Black love.
Most resilient, we poster children of prophecy fulfillment. We gotta be God's children.